Hello everybody, it's Judas Free Time here, and it's been a long time, hasn't it? Well, I can't say I've been busy, but I have been somewhat busy with life, if I had one. But recently I have had a problem with data on my server, but that's about a day's work to restore. Anyway, today's video is about hand warmers. Now I'm not talking about this sort of hand warmer that I showed you once, which is called a Jack Pike or a Highlander one. But I'm going to talk about a gasoline type of hand warmer that you've probably seen on Instagram. And this is what gasoline hand warmers look like. Okay. This one is called a Butterfly and it's £5 off eBay. And this one is an expensive version called the Whitby. Now, what's the difference between the expensive one and the other one? No real difference. They both work the same. Anyway, gasoline powered pocket hand warmers work the same way as a Zippo, where it requires this sort of gasoline. It's called lighter fluid, and it's very easy to do. You use the measuring jug thing that you get with it. This one's from the Butterfly, and this one is from the Whitby. Now, I've been testing these out for a couple of days, and I have to say I'm a bit disappointed with Whitby, because you look at the packaging and it actually says 12 hours. This one also says 12 hours, but when I tested both of them, we only got up to 8 hours. Now, that's no surprise that most of these are fucking silly times that you would get on these things. But when they say up to 12 hours, I didn't mean 8 hours. I was expecting at least 11 hours. That was probably acceptable. But anyway, passing that forward, these only last up to 8 hours. People have said 12 hours online, and I've not really had one that's lasted near 8 hours, to be honest. This one's actually pretty nice. Now, this one was about 15-16 odd quid, close to the Zippo price. And in fact, they have the same catalytic warmer thing there. And the Chinese have this one. Now, this one already wins hands down because it's cheap. The catalyst is like £1, and the Whitby is about £7. It's a lot of money, and God knows if they would last in this thing. I've only used it twice, well, 3 or 4 times actually, maybe more, and already it's getting burnt edges. Meanwhile, this one has been going strong for up to near 20 times, and although they don't last up to 70 or 90 burns, you know, they're well cheap to order. You know, same as this lighter. This is not a Zippo. It looks like a Zippo, but it's not a Zippo. I said Zippo style lighter, or maybe I said Zippo style lighter. I don't know what I said at the beginning. But this thing is basically £2 for 3 of them. I got one there, stopped being used, and another one here. Look, there's 3 of them, and just, you know, there you go. There's 3 of them right there. Oops, wrong way. Yeah. So yeah, they work really well. They have a wick in them, and they work pretty well. This one works absolutely fine. Not a problem with it. Filled it up, not a problem. Meanwhile, Zippo wants 20 quid for something like this, and I got this for 2 quid for 2 or 3 of them from China. Okay, they're not going to last as long. This is not going to last as long, but neither are these. So what is the point of spending millions of pounds on a piece of equipment if it's not really going to give you good quality? Now, to hand warming techniques of these two, I have to say the Whitby was pretty crap compared to the Chinese. This one burnt mega hot. This one gets to near that same temperature most of the time, but most of the time it's not as hot. It's quite close, but not the hottest. This one gets quite hot, and I have to say it must be the burner. But apart from that, yeah, the cheapo wins the race of them all. The problem with these ones, as you can see, is get fingerprints and all sorts of stuff on these. I'm gonna get a Zippo style eventually, but don't see the point. They're like 17 quid. Pointless really when this Whitby was close to that price. I would recommend the Whitby over the Zippo. I've heard bad stories about the Zippo, and they haven't learned from their stupid mistake where you have to, you know, lift that off and then you have to lift that off to fill it up. And to be honest, it messed with the little catalyst here. This one is a lot better because you can actually fill it with the hole right here and not mess around with this bit where you fill it. So that's one awesome thing about it. Apart from that, they both work the same in my opinion. This sort of lighter fuel. Now, one thing I've got to say is, don't believe in what Zippo and many of us saying, oh, don't use this, use our own gasoline sort of stuff. No, go with what you want. This was 80 pence in Home Bargains. And I managed to fill up this and this a couple of times for that price. It's like, well good. So yeah, these are not bad. I like these. I have to say the Chinese one wins hands down because it's the heaviest and you know it's robust. This one doesn't feel as robust because you know it's light, and I thought it was because it's new, but no, not the greatest. And if you're wondering if the catalyst on this works on the Chinese one, no it doesn't. They're like 1 inch difference from each other, and that's what sucks about it. Anyway, I made this video because if you want to stay warm, if you live in England and you live in -2 or whatever in Canada, you're probably living in -30 as you watch this. You know, get yourself warm, get yourself one of these hand warmers, or you can get the fuel stick ones like from Jack Pike. Although it's a burden to wait for the fuel sticks, but meanwhile you can just go into any shop and get this. By the way, I wouldn't recommend going to Tesco. £3.5 the one for this, and the local shop wanted £2. I got this for 80 something pence. Oh, crazy world. So yeah, cheap fuel, cheap thing, can't beat it. This is only 5 quid. Honestly, I recommend it, and it does get mega warm, and you do get like a pouch with it. The pouch sucks. The Whitby wins hands down with the pouch because it actually has a bobble on it. But yeah, I thought I'd show you that. Light it for 10 seconds and off you go. It takes a bit of time to warm up, but so does the Jack Pike. I noticed there's a bit of a problem with the Jack Pike these days, and that is that when you light the fuel stick now from Highlander or Jack Pike, it takes forever to actually light it. It took like 9 tries with the Zippo and this lighter I used to use for it. This is knackered, by the way. It's not the best anymore. It's lost it. So yeah, cheap Zippo thing. May not be safe, but you know it's cheap, so whatever. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. Keep warm out there, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.